It's 9:30. We will call the Cumberland County Board of Elections meeting to order, and we will begin with a roll call, please. Here.
Commissioner Fauci.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Present.
All right. We have a number of folks here in the room, and we'll get to public comment. We have a number of folks online, but first we'd like to begin with a little bit of recognition for some folks that helped us tremendously here at the Bureau of Elections. It is with deep sadness that we acknowledge the passing of 4 of our dedicated judges of elections since the primary. Today, we take a moment to honor their service and commitment to our county and the voters of Cumberland County. Thomas Brown served as the judge of elections for Carlisle Precinct 4-1 for over 25 years. He was a kind man, known for his generous spirit and radiant smile. Thomas was a genuinely warm person who always took the time to connect with the entire election staff. Ed Renard was a judge of inspector for Cook Township for more than 25 years. He followed in the footsteps of his mother, who held the position before him. Ed was a devoted and kind-hearted man who served the voters of Cook Township with unwavering dedication. Cherie Tyson, the judge of elections for Hampton Precinct 1, brought over 10 years of experience to her position. She was a tough and spirited individual, known for her sassy personality and strong will. Rita Stanek served as the judge for Middlesex Precinct 2 for over a decade. Her dedication was unmatched. Nothing could keep Rita away on election day, even when others thought she should rest. Together, these 4 remarkable individuals contributed a combined 70 years of service to the voters of Cumberland County. They were not just colleagues, they became an integral part of our election family. Their absence will be deeply felt by all of us. We extend our heartfelt appreciation to their families, recognizing the invaluable service and dedication these individuals brought to our voters, our election staff, and our county. We will move into public comment. I am going to remind folks of our policy, which limits that to 3 minutes, if possible, please. And we will begin with public comment that is for those online. If you would like to make a public comment, please use the raise your hand feature and provide your name. Audrey, is there anyone indicating that they would like to provide public comment?
Not at this time.
Okay, it appears not. Is there anyone in the room that would like to make public comment at this time? Yes, sir. Please state your name.
Do I stand?
You can do whatever you please.
Well, good morning. My name is David Bennett. I'm a resident of Carlisle Borough, Cumberland County, and I have been in public service until I retired for over 50 years. And my observation is very simply that in public service, loyalty, integrity, and service are the 3 key ingredients of what we public servants do or have done or will do. I ask that the Cumberland County Board of Electors honor those same traditions as I believe they have in the past of integrity, loyalty, and service. I thank you.
Thank you, David. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to make public comment at this time? Yes.
My name is Sam Milkus, North Middle Township resident, and I'm a Democrat, and we don't always win elections in this county, but nonetheless, I want to say, having attended many of your meetings, having worked with your staff, what exceptional work this board does and its staff does. I've had the opportunity to observe canvassing, to observe this board acting, and it seems to me that we have reason to be very proud of your work, and I thank you for that. And I think this board meets the standards that this gentleman has set forth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Milkus. Anyone else in the audience like to make a comment at this time?
Kelly, we do have one individual calling in with a phone number,
Okay.
ending in 5515, if you'd like to.
Does the gentleman with the phone number ending in 5515 or woman, want to make a comment at this time? It appears not.
Hello.
Hello, there you are, 5515. Could you identify yourself, please?
Charles Wilson from Camp Hill. I'm just calling to listen to the board, and I'm expecting a usually good meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Anyone in the room going once? There was a comment that was emailed to us, and I will not read the entire thing, but I will read the first several bullets because a fairly lengthy quote of Lincoln is included. My name is Rick Copeland. I have served for all the people of the Carlisle Area School District as an elected school board director since 2015. I have run multiple times for elected office across parts of Cumberland, Dauphin, and York counties. I have won and lost multiple elections. Regardless of the outcome, I always promptly acknowledge the validity of the election results and make my acceptance public. I consistently and publicly express my absolute confidence in our elections, electoral system, Cumberland, Dauphin, and York County election officials, and our fellow citizens and neighbors who serve us by running our polling places. I do so for three primary reasons. Since 2015, I have worked firsthand with election officials in Cumberland County and others. All those election officials are extraordinarily knowledgeable, competent, and dedicated to ensuring the absolute integrity of our elections. Two, I have seen firsthand the professional efforts of our fellow citizens and neighbors in many polling places across Cumberland County and beyond. And three, I stand with Lincoln. We will attach this as part of the record. All right.
Could I make it?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, when you said going once.
Okay.
So I'm a judge of election and a resident of Carlisle.
And your name, ma'am?
I'm sorry, Rebecca Klein. And I want to say on behalf of the team of poll workers that I work with, that the integrity of elections is their absolute primary concern. We have Libertarians, we have Republicans, we have Democrats. I'm sure we have birthday party people. If you've ever seen the list of parties that people sign up for in our precinct, and every single person is treated with respect. I want to say also that Bethany Salvarulo and her team, and I have watched them for almost 10 years now, are simply people of the highest integrity you could imagine. And having worked with the voting machines for almost 10 years now, two different types of voting machines, I can tell you that there is simply no way anyone can mess with those machines. They simply cannot be messed with. Not that I've tried, but the system is solid. Probably no system is perfect. And I think if you do research on instances where there have been accusations of fraud in voting in elections from Wisconsin to Michigan to Pennsylvania to Georgia, what you find is in the vast majority of cases, someone has made a mistake. It is not a fraudulent act, it is a mistake. And in the cases where a mistake has been made, it's amazing to see how the system works to find that mistake and to ensure that it does not affect the election. So just from my perspective as a voter, as a resident, as a judge of election, I really think that the concerns about voter fraud are unfounded. Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you, and thank you for serving your fellow constituents there in
Such
your
a
board.
pleasure. It is such a pleasure.
All right, we will move on then.
Sorry to interrupt, Commissioner Nieder. There is one individual online that would wish to make a public comment.
Okay. Okay,
Kathleen.
please state your full name and make your public comment.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Gorak, and I am in Carlisle 3-3, and it has been my joy to live all around the country and vote in many different communities' elections. But I have to say, Here in Cumberland County, with Bethany at the helm, elections have been so smooth, so transparent. I'm really thrilled to be in a functioning community when it comes to our elections, as well as other things. That's it.
Thank you, Kathleen. All right. Now, going once, going twice. I think that wraps it up. The portion of public comment, we will move on to the approval of the meeting minutes of May 7th. Entertain a motion for that, please.
I'll move to approve the minutes, and we did make some typographical changes to them.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Bethany, I believe you're up next with the discussion and approval to move the Mechanicsburg 2-2 polling location.
Yes, so we would like to move this location from Wesley United Methodist Church, which is 203 South Filbert Street. We're asking to move that to the Mechanicsburg Church of the Brethren at 301 Gale Street.
Okay. Any questions for Bethany regarding that move? We'll entertain a motion to approve them.
I'll move for approval of the polling relocation for Mechanicsburg, second ward, second precinct.
I'll second. It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Bethany, I do have a follow-up question. So because this is a permanent move of a polling location, please let me know if I'm accurate in this or not. All the voters that vote in that polling location will receive a new card.
Yes, so I was gonna do the second polling place change and then we'll
Sorry.
go over all, no, then we can go over all the ways we're gonna let everybody know.
Thank you.
But yes, you are right about that.
Okay. Let's move
Okay,
on.
so-
Yeah.
All right, and we would like to move the Upper Allen 6 polling location from Crossroads Community Church at 1425 South Market Street to Country and Town Baptist Church, 220 Gettysburg Pike. Yes.
Are there any questions for Bethany regarding this change in polling location? No, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Yes,
now,
so-
let us know all that you're gonna do.
Because these are permanent changes, all voters in both of those locations will receive a new voter ID card, which looks like this. And we will also, so no one throws it away thinking it's junk mail, put a brightly colored sticker that says, "Attention, your polling place is moved, see enclosed." So I just brought an example of that. We also will obviously update our website. We will put out a press release today about the move. It will be on social media posts, right? And we will put on election day, we will put a sign at the old location indicating where the new location is in case voters, forgot or out of habit went to their previous location.
Bethany, is there a number included on that so that they can contact you?
Yes, yep, and the heading is our phone number and address.
Perfect, thank you.
Bethany, because the polling location has changed, do people need to appear with that voter ID card?
They don't.
Okay.
So because it's an administrative change that we have made, the only people that will need to show up with an ID card or some form of identification are if they're new to that location or first time voting.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next up, you have a discussion on the extra hours to drop off mail-in.
Yes, so we have started extra hours. I think we began in 2020, having extra hours outside of our 8 to 4:30 business hours for voters to be able to drop off their mail-in or absentee ballots. We historically have done 2 timeframes of additional hours. We've decided to double that since it's a presidential. And I just, in general, everything's doubled, tripled, quadrupled. So we are asking if we could please be open. Now this will be for ballot drop off only. So no other services are available. It will simply be to drop off your voted mail-in or absentee ballot. Thursday, October 24th, be open until 7 p.m. Saturday, October 26th, be open from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Wednesday, October 30th until 7 p.m. And Saturday, November 2nd, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So 2 Saturdays and 2 evenings. We thought, 2 different weeks that would give hopefully everyone an opportunity to get in here with their ballots if they needed to do that.
But your other extended hours will remain the same. that you were adding or no?
It will do these four. These will be our four.
They will
Yes.
be the four.
Traditionally, we do the Thursday before and the Saturday before, but the Thursday before is Halloween. So I didn't want, maybe people would be too busy trick or treating. So we moved it to Wednesday. But yes, so we'll have 4 additional hours or periods to drop off.
And that drop-off location is going to be the same secure location that it's been for the elections?
Yes, so it'll be our office on Rittner Highway. And we have our, where you drop off your ballot is located inside our lobby, video monitor, security, and one of my staff there as well.
Very good. Any other questions of Bethany for the extended hours? Thank you, Bethany. Yep. I'll entertain a motion, please.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, now your update.
I have a lot, so just
Okay. We
get
expected
comfortable.
it.
Okay, so first thing, I always start off with the number of mail-in and absentee ballot applications that we have processed so far. So our total so far is 24,825. Democratic applications, 13,913. Republican applications, 8,045. And other, so it's November, so anyone of any party may vote, 2,867. We have mailed and or emailed to the military or overseas voters in remote or isolated locations. That deadline to send those was August 27th, and that was 402 that we sent out. Okay. So an update for the mail-in and absentee process. The Commonwealth Court has decided that undated or wrongly dated ballots must be counted. That is obviously a change from the primary, where if it was wrongly dated or undated, those ballots did not count. So the Commonwealth decision has made that. So as of right now, wrongly dated or undated mail-in or absentee ballots will count. So that's a change. And also something I wanted to mention about mail-in and absentees is we have been hearing from voters calling in and also some news reports that ballots would begin going out September 16th in Pennsylvania. That's not accurate information. Historically, we mail ballots 3 to 4 weeks before each election, and we're on track to do the same. I think the confusion comes in is that September 16th is the date that we must begin processing applications for mail-in or absentee ballots unless we decide to do them sooner. We always decide to process them sooner to get a head start. So, but yes, September 16th will not be when we mail out ballots. First week of October is what we're looking at, but there are still court cases pending. So as we all know, that kind of decides my timing. So we'll be watching those closely. Okay. All right. And something else that's been picking up is obviously our phone calls and emails from voters with questions and concerns or, wanting to know information. I will say that many times I call a voter instead of emailing them back because I feel that they almost always have follow-up questions. So calling them is a good way to get those follow-up questions and also gauge their understanding. And I feel it's also a more personal touch. So when people email me, don't be surprised if they get a phone call because I prefer to call them back for those reasons. So I just kind of wanted to say that. Okay.
Bethany, and I appreciate that someone had reached out on social media indicating that they had emailed and had not received a response, to which when I reached out to you, you indicated you had tried to call them 3 times and in fact left messages. So
yeah, it's just my preference because there's almost always a follow-up question. And so it's just an easier, faster way for me to get the information and make sure everybody understands,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I did want to mention that I want to say, oh, goodness, July, when I spoke to a Deborah Austin, who is part of the Election Integrity Task Force, and in her phone call, she indicated that they would be sending out mailers to voters who they believe should not be on the voter rolls with voter removal forms, which there is such a form that we have on our website. And if a voter moves to another state, they could use that form, mail that into us, and we would remove them. However, we would never solicit that. We would never mail something to a voter saying you must remove your name, something to that, anything like that. But this group and or people a part of this group decided to do that. They sent a letter along with the removal form and a postage paid envelope. There was no indication that it was from the group. The letters were signed with just a first name, either Debbie or John. And the return address on the envelope that was mailed just had a last name with an address. As you can imagine, this caused quite a bit of confusion. Voters were calling us thinking this was some type of scam, some type of like, you know, are you trying to make me take my name off the rolls? And of course they call us because the form is to be returned to our office. So it looks like we sent them, which again, we would never do that. There is a legal process and the election code on which voters are removed, which I've gone over multiple times at Board of Elections meetings. And we also have the removal process on our website, if anyone was interested in looking at that. And I have copies here as well. We also were getting phone calls from people in the military who are allowed to keep a resident info in Pennsylvania while they are away or living abroad or whatever the case may be. They were very upset, thinking that we were trying to force them out of being able to vote. So unfortunately, and let me also state that the ones that we have received back, so the forms we've received back to remove their name, most of the voters were either already in the process to be removed through the legal processes that we have here, or they were already canceled from our rolls. So I think that this group used inaccurate, outdated information when they sent these letters, and it obviously caused confusion to a system, you know, to an election year, which I feel like misinformation and confusion is just out there. So this just added to that, unfortunately. So I just wanted to state that we did not send these letters. We would not send these letters. And if anyone has any questions about it, please call us because we would be happy to clear up anything, any confusion on that. Okay.
Bethany, would you say that mailing was designed to look like it was from your office? It was.
Yes.
In your opinion, it was. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to address, because we get a lot of questions about this, is are people who are not US citizens registered to vote? Now, in the minutes from the last meeting, I did address this because we had a public comment about it, but I'm happy to address it again because we have received quite a few phone calls about it, and I think you all have had have heard about it. And I will say that on the Pennsylvania Department of State's webpage, they have a fact-checking site, and it answers all of those questions, but I'll be happy to go through it here. In fact, I have their fact checking right here that I pulled off their website. But a simple answer is when you go into PennDOT, for example, and many of you probably have, and you get the questions about, do you wish to register or update your registration, those sorts of things. The only way you receive those questions through PennDOT is if you've proven your citizenship to that government agency. Same thing with the Social Security Administration. So when someone applies to register to vote, they have to provide us with either their driver's license or their last four of their social security number. Those go through those government agencies to be approved. And then when they come back to us, then that's how we know to move forward with the process. So all of those safeguards are in place. They've been in place and will continue to be in place. Right, but if you like the long answer, you can go to the website.
Thank you.
That's it. That's everything.
Did anyone have any questions of Bethany beyond her update?
Thank you very much, Bethany. There is a lot of rumor and innuendo swirling out in the community, and it's always good when you can give and I found you provide very direct responses that are factual and based in the way that we are conducting business. So I appreciate that.
Yes.
There is a request for executive session regarding pending litigation that will be held following this meeting. And there's a report of executive session on August 8th at 2024 at 9:30 a.m. That was regarding pending litigation and security. Is there any other business to come before the Board of Elections at this time? There is.
The relocation of voting sites, does that cause any kind of an impediment to people who are visually or physically impaired? Or is the distance of the movement of the voting site affecting people in a negative way?
So all of our polling locations are ADA compliant, so that's not an issue. And also, whenever we move a location, it must stay within those precinct boundaries. So it's very close, usually a mile or two from wherever the previous location was.
So you anticipate no difficulty for anyone to vote someplace else within their district?
No, not at all.
Thank you.
And in fact, I believe, Bethany, you indicated that maybe one of these locations is a bit more accessible. Is that accurate?
Yes, so we always are trying to find locations that are more accessible for voters where we don't have to provide temporary measures to make it that way. And actually, both of these locations are more accessible than the previous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any other business to come before the board at this time? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
For sure.
We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.